that is like 80% of the cost of an electronic product
Mm.
often. And so finding the right components to design around then becomes really important because of yeah, 80% of your price is dictated by the price of your components. You really need to select those components very carefully.
Mm.
And that's a mistake that I see with a lot of designers in the West that they, for example, I talked with a design house in Amsterdam, and they look on the internet, they find a nice camera module that has really good quality and the exact right specs, and then they start developing their electronics around it, and they spend 9 months to optimize all the firmware so that the image comes out just right.
Mm.
And then they take their whole design package to a factory in China or in Taiwan or in wherever. And then the factory says, we cannot get this module here. If we import it from Japan, there's 30% import tax.
Mm.
But we have this module that is a third the price. We need to test it. You really need to test it. Like the spec sheets, they can promise you everything, but you need to really test it, the use of that particular module in your particular configuration, like with your voltage and amperage on the board, and so you really need to start working with a proof of concept, like a partial prototype that for testing out that particular module. Well, I've learned, and so I really warn all my clients about that, and you need to budget for 2 or 3 iterations, and some clients they say sorry, that I want it right first time, and I'll find somebody who can. Um, Perhaps they get lucky, but perhaps they
Mm.
don't. And I feel it's better to be careful with not promising the moon. You were a really tiny customer for that factory. You're not gonna get much attention. You need a right sized
Mm.
factory. If there is that balance of power, then they also will think twice about doing anything nasty. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pity because like we said, the connection and really getting used to each other's way of working. I think that's a really valuable thing to have with a factory
Mm.
and build that up over time, and it gets stronger and stronger over time. But yeah, you just need to make sure that you have that balance of power. I think that's one of the keys to success there.